Hello, last video of the evening, and then I'm going to bed. Okay, let's talk quickly about buffers and CO2 and pH. I'll try and do this really quickly. Okay, buffers. So what's really awesome about buffers is they keep the pH from like going up and down like crazy. Your pH isn't going to go up and down that much, right? Because it's like a tenfold difference, but it still could. So your body has all these awesome buffers which keep your pH from just like going crazy. It buffers things so that, you drink really acidic orange juice or really basic something and doesn't freak out your entire system, right? You have different pHs all over your body. So you have these buffers. They maintain the pH of the blood and other fluids within really narrow limits, and this is accomplished through the use of buffers. Buffers are awesome. This is why some lakes are super affected by acid rain and some are not at all affected by acid rain. And this is mostly limestone. There's limestone in different lakes, and limestone is a really good buffer, so it doesn't affect the lake as much as something else would. So, buffer is a combination of substances that act together to prevent a drastic change in pH. It doesn't prevent a change, it just prevents a drastic change. This is a buffer solution, or a buffer. It is usually a weak acid and its conjugate base. So they're kind of already in there doing their thing, and so more hydrogen ions come in and they're like, they can kind of buffer the craziness where it like all of a sudden freaks out. That's what a buffer does. Henderson and Hasselbalch have an equation. Of course they do. Everybody has an equation. pKa is the log of your A, which is your conjugate base, over your weak acid, or you can do it the other way around. You can take the negative of your weak acid over your conjugate base, and that will tell you how strong your buffer is. The good news is I'm not making you do these problems, and I'm not asking you on the test. But I do want you to understand what a buffer is and that there is an equation to determine the strength or what kind of buffer is going on. Now, buffers in your body. Each of the fluids in your body has a pH range suited to its function. So remember we talked in lab, your stomach is about 1. Its function is to break stuff down and be like face melting acid. Yes, in your stomach. Blood plasma and interstitial fluid surrounding the cells have a slightly basic pH with a normal range of about 7 to 7.35 to 7.45, which is basically like water. Maintaining the pH of blood serum is accomplished by carbonic acid bicarbonate buffer system, which is awesome. I love buffer systems in your body. The bicarbonate buffer system is intimately related to the elimination of CO2. Elimination of CO2. So this is so important. And if you really, really understand this, it's going to make you seem like a genius. I'm not even kidding. So few people understand this that if you can really grasp this, this will save you tons of time in physiology, and will save you time in it'll save you time in nursing school, and it'll just make you seem really smart because people just don't. It's a simple concept, but people just don't get it. So here's what happens. Respiratory acidosis is caused by a decrease in respiration. So you're not respiring. For whatever reason, you're not breathing in and out. A lot of times this is caused by lung disease of some kind. Like you just cannot breathe in and out. It's not like you're just choosing not to. You cannot get breath. It's caused by a decrease in respiration. So you're not breathing in and out. So you're not breathing out. Let's say you're not breathing out. What do you breathe out? You breathe out CO2. So you're not doing that. You're not breathing out enough CO2. So what's the CO2 doing? It's got to go somewhere, right? If it's not coming out for whatever reason, it's doing something. So in this case, you have a decrease in respiration. This causes an increase, obviously, in CO2. And this will also cause. So what does this do? This actually affects pH. So this, you're going to run some kind of blood test, you're going to do something, and you're going to be like, okay, let's look at the pH of the blood and see what's going on. So what is this going to do? This is going to decrease the pH. So if you get a blood test back and you have a low pH, so it's decreasing the pH, you're going to say, okay, there's something going on with the breathing. There's some kind of situation in which the CO2 is building up in the body and it's being reabsorbed into the blood, and that's creating this weirdness with a decreasing pH. So I think of it like I made you a little, which one are we doing? We're doing this one. It's like a teeter-totter. So I have a decrease in CO2. Think of it like a teeter-totter. This is like the teeter-totter. This is the teeter part. I have a decrease in CO2. See, my CO2 is down here. Why is that? Because I lie. I'm this way. I have an increase in CO2. Why do I have an increase in CO2? Because I have a decrease in respiration. So I'm not breathing. So here's teeter-totter. Oh, I'm not breathing. Ooh, there's something going on with my teeter-totter. My respiration is down here. If I'm not breathing out, my CO2 is going to be up here. If my CO2 is up here, my pH is going to be down here. It's just like a teeter-totter. This, normal and good. This, something's going on. You've come to the doctor or the emergency room or something, and it's this. Okay, what if I flip it around? What if I make my CO2 go up? So now, let's say I have respiratory alkalosis. It's late at night. So increased breathing. So I'm hyperventilating before an exam. Not one of my exams, of course, but Pam's exams. Let's blame her. So, or you're just hyperventilating, like something terrible has happened, you're hyperventilating because you're stressed out. So now what's happening? You have an increase in respiration, right? I'm typing with one hand, so stay with me. I've increased my respiration. I'm hyperventilating. I'm having a panic attack. I'm doing something. So what's going on with my CO2? I'm shoving it out, right? I am massively shoving out my CO2. So I am decreasing my CO2. You think that would always be a good thing, but it's not. Like, your body needs a balance. So you're shoving the CO2 out, and your system's like, wait, what is going on? What is going to happen? You're going to increase your pH. Let me fix that. Let me see if I can take it away there. There we go. You're going to increase your pH. Now, seriously, you have got to learn this. I'm not kidding. It's so easy. It's so simple. Here's your CO2. Ooh, it's down here. I have a low CO2. Why do I have a low CO2? That's weird. Oh, because I'm breathing. And I'm like in my diaphragm and I'm shoving the CO2 out because of the atmospheric pressure. Oh, what? Why? What's going on? And you're going to see that in pH. So maybe the person isn't actually breathing like that. They seem like they're breathing normal, or if there's something going on with their breathing but you can't tell what it is. You can get a blood test and you can look and they have this like high pH. You're like, what is that? Oh, there's got to be something going on with their CO2, which is causing an increase in respiration, which is raising their pH. Oh, yes. There's other things that we can talk about when we do this, but just remember, it's a teeter-totter with CO2 on one side and your pH and respiration on the other. So obviously your respiration is going to be opposite of your CO2, but remember that pH is with respiration, and it's going to go like this. It's really easy. It's not actually that hard, but people struggle with it for whatever reason. So I don't want you to struggle with it. I want you to remember it because it's very easy, and you're going to talk about it like 8 more times. And so let's just get it down here. That'd be super helpful. Okay, that's it. That's a short one.